Just starting off day chipper, swell.
What's
Everything's
today,
going.
like the 18th day of this week or something?
Yeah, it kind of does feel like that. I think we're ready for another holiday. Is there any coming up?
I told you, we should have gone into this in stages,
Oh
three
no, I'm
shows
I'm
this
regretting
week.
like my entire life at this point. I should have got into like hotel room reviews and like cruise ship reviews. That's where
Yes,
I
I
could go
know.
back like 20 years and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be a luxury resort reviewer.
And you're like, no, no, I know that sounds stupid, but I'm telling you, by the time I'm like 35-ish, that's
Yeah,
going to be a thing.
yeah. And people are gonna pay for me to go to their
Yep,
resorts, sip their mai tais. It's
yep.
gonna be great. Like that's I don't
It's
know.
like getting a job at Disney, except they pay you.
Yeah. Wait, Disney pays.
Did you see that thing? Apparently, Disney was offering like no pay positions, and like thousands of people
Oh,
showed up, and you actually have to pay a fee to get
wow.
into it or something. Like, yeah.
Wow. It's a little it's a
God.
little
Well, at least this year, at least you'll be in Disney all day. That won't be terrible.
I guess if they're giving you food, you might actually come out ahead there if you can sneak away for a couple of things.
Oh, that's so. Man, am I going to go down this rabbit hole? Did you hear about the au pair thing in Massachusetts?
No.
I don't want to go off on a rant here, Brad, but au pairs in Massachusetts are looking to get paid the minimum wage. I mean,
Oh.
God forbid. Minimum wage in Massachusetts is $12.75 an hour, so you can kind
Mm.
of do the math on that. Um, it has apparently been the law since 2014 or 15 that this happened. No one's doing it. People are suing.
Mm.
And the people who imagine you're someone who feels the need, you're in the position of life where you can have an au pair, and you're like, I can't afford that much money to pay these people to take care of my children 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
like gallivant out on the yacht or whatever. Here's an idea. If you can't afford that, if you can't afford minimum wage, then you shouldn't have an au pair. You should have childcare, like
Yeah.
daycare, like everyone else on earth.
Yeah.
I have no pity for these people.
Yeah. I would like a
Unbelievable.
yacht
What
though.
they're trying to argue is like, well, we put them up for free. Yeah, I put my children up for free too, but I don't make them work 65 hours, a week and then hand them $75.
They did that a while ago. Like 1700s, wasn't it called indentured servitude, something like that?
Thank you. That is exactly what I said to my wife this morning.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Au pair is French for on par. It's supposed to mean that you're, part of the family,
Right.
not
Right.
someone who's chained to a wall in a dungeon in the basement. Unbelievable.
Maybe they
Anyway,
could pay them
sorry.
like the
I
coal miners. Remember where if you used to work in
pay
a
them
coal
like,
mining town, you got the coal miner
like
currency?
right.
Anyways, back to technology. Um,
Coal miner currency.
yeah.
Here's a block of something black mineral thing. Have fun with
Oh,
it.
it was a coin, but there was a term for it, and you
Yeah.
could only
No, that
spend it at
sounds
the
that
company
sounds familiar.
store.
Yeah.
Um,
At the company store.
the company
Right.
cult.
These people are going to start putting locks on their cupboards so the au pair can't get to the cereal, and drain them of their precious funds.
You know what happened on? I think it was this day. Yeah, it was definitely this week, like 12 years ago, something like that.
I do. Yeah.
Huh.
It is today, I think.
Yeah, the phone.
The iPhone was announced.
Yeah,
Yes. Sorry.
yeah.
Didn't mean to leave that hanging. I listened to a podcast yesterday. I think it's just called the Internet History Podcast. And he was, it was about that. And this is one of those things like I subscribe to it, but I only really listen every once in a while. Like, 'cause
Mm-hmm.
most of the topics, if you kind of scroll through, you're like, no, no, no. And it was like, oh, history of the iPhone. This was one of the most historically inaccurate depictions of this event that I have ever read or listened to. It was horrible. And he actually had to correct something because he was mispronouncing the name of a phone. He was calling the rocker a roker, like Al Roker.
Oh, jeez.
But whatever. That's not that. You know what? Well, that should tell you everything you need to know about this person, I guess. But I'm listening to it. I was actually, I just got mad about au pairs. You can imagine me I was listening in the gym, and I was like, man, you got to be kidding! Like, how many things you got wrong? It's crazy, like how
Yeah.
wrong this thing is. So obviously, he went off whatever published reports, and then threw it all together into one mess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, look, this was the moment in time when all things changed. I mean, no matter what you feel about Apple, all things change. What did I just say? All things change, right? I know some people think I hate Apple. Some
Mm-hmm.
people hate Apple, whatever it is, but this is
Yeah.
if you want the root cause of everything that's happened since then in technology, this is it.
Yep. Yep. And I know Paul already knows the answer to this because he follows me on Twitter. But this was great. This is worth bringing up because if this happens to anybody else, it's worth noting.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think it was because some legislation was signed. They have to start blocking spam calls, which is great. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Verizon texted me this thing. It's like, download our new call blocking app. It's gonna save you from the spams. And I was all excited. I was like, yes, this is great.
Right.
I get many of these. So I download the app, install it, follow the directions. The first call it blocks is my wife calling from work, from her non-cell phone.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
I use Google Fi has a feature that is call screening.
Mm-hmm.
So I get these calls from my old area code, and if it's not a person I know, you can tell it's spam. Like 100% of the time, it's spam.
Yeah.
And now I can just tap on the little call screening thing, and instead of getting a 3-second message of silence, which is what usually happens on spam, they just hang up.
Yeah.
So it's a slightly manual. I have to tap on it, I guess, but yeah. I mean, I don't. It's not block my wife. That's actually really funny. But
yeah. My wife's like, I tried to call you like 3 times from work and it didn't work.
you're like, listen, you're in the queue to be whitelisted. It is important. I will get to it as soon as I can.
Yep. Have you tried texting? Because I prefer that. That way I don't have to actually talk to
had
another human.
Semi-related thing to this is kind of a weird thing. I bought tickets to a concert, and I went through the whole process. Like, I got really good seats. I was like, wow, these are great seats. And I completed the purchase, and it was one of those things like it just completed, and then it was like, congratulations, you go to a show, and then I had purchased ADA seats, which are the like the handicap section,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, jeez. So I had to contact this company, so I called them first I tried that night, and they're only around during working hours. So yesterday in the morning, I called them, went through a lengthy thing, and they said, you know what to do, just go through the we have like a chat thing. They'll just be able to fix it for you. So I chatted with them, went back and forth. And this company, it's called Axis. It's AXS. It's kind of like a low rent Ticketmaster. They don't offer refunds or exchanges or anything. But I was like, look, these are ADA seats. I mean, I can't walk into this facility and sit in these seats. Like this would be, you know what I mean? That's horrible.
You'd feel like a jerk. This is great.
I'm going to get like a cane or something.
Yeah.
So it's like an episode of, was it the IT Crowd, where he like pretended he was handicapped? But so I know.
I don't think you have to pretend too hard. Let's be clear.
Okay, fair enough. I'll just talk about au pairs. They'll let me right in. So the woman on the chat thing says, actually, she says, I can't solve this. I'm gonna escalate it up because we don't do refunds or exchanges. And you'll get an email response in the next 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever. So they actually emailed pretty quick. I was thinking to myself, there go my good tickets. Like as the time ticks on, like people are going to buy tickets. So actually they got back to me pretty quick, and they said I had to call.
Oh, fantastic.
So I called again. So you got to remember, it's call, chat, email, call again. And the person says, this isn't something I can take care of here. You have to go through and I said, listen, I've already done your little circle jerk thing. I said, I have a case number. The email clearly says that you will solve this problem. And they eventually did do it. But my God, it was like end to end. It was like 24 hours of communication of the only thing I didn't do was send a fax. Like crazy.
Did they solve it by shipping you a Rascal scooter that you now have?
Yeah, a man will meet you at the door and escort you to your seats. I was able to change the seats. But
That's fantastic you did that.
Crazy.
You're wondering, like, why are these great seats just not taken?
They're plush. There's like plenty of room.
Yeah, I can stretch my legs out.
I'm like right in front of the stage. I don't know what's,
The people behind in front of me aren't standing up. This is
some
great.
reason the lead singer is serenading my section. It was that awful realization. Like you've done this kind of thing. Like you book travel or something, and you realize you've done the wrong day, or whatever it is, and you've just clicked OK, and you're like, oh, how would they even allow me to purchase these tickets? I went back to the site later to see what the seats available were. And there's like, you could buy tickets. You can buy like our VIP tickets. You can buy ADA tickets. So why would the ADA tickets be in the They should just be shown as taken. It's not my fault. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you didn't read what you were doing. You know.
I mean, granted, I was driving at the time.
I was driving and sipping my latte.
I was, exactly. Balancing like a McMeal in my lap or whatever. And
it's going to get my shekels to pay
steering
my
with my
au pair.
knees. Yeah, just go right. Picking up my au pair at the bus stop. I mean, what?
Oh man. So there you go. I don't know. There's other CES stuff. Kinda. I mean, I was looking at all the stuff that's being announced. It's just like the
One thing I saw that I think is kind of interesting. It's not available right now, but there's a company called yeah, it's a company called Withings, right? And this is the company that Nokia bought and then ejected later, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're a standalone company again. And they make health equipment, smart scales, smart watches, health watches, fitness tracker things. They have like smart blood pressure monitors and all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of cool. And I must have bought something. I think I bought it was a scale or something from them years ago. I still get emails from them, but I saw an email from them. They have a new smartwatch coming out. It's beautiful. It looks like a really nice watch. It's round, and most of it is just kind of analog. And then there's like a circular digital bit. And they already sell watches that look like this. They're pretty, like 200, maybe 250. But this new one has a bunch of it detects like sleep apnea. It does the EKG thing. It just does it looks really cool. So I looked at this and I was like, man, I would consider getting this because my wife and I have been going back and forth on like the Fitbit Versa, and I talked to you about the Apple Watch at one point, and but it's not available. So I just jumped on the mailing list. But I thought that was unrelated to CES, other than that's where they announced it. But that looks kind of interesting, like the kind of logical successor to the Microsoft Band stuff, where it's just bristling with sensors, like it's crazy, like how many things it does.
The other headline or bit of information that's kind of, this one's a little bit shocking to me, is that Samsung sold between 400,000 and 500,000 folds.
Yeah.
I was surprised. That's more than I thought they would sell.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. As I wrote that, I was like, well, Samsung predicted 500,000. Analysts' predictions were 400,000 to 500,000, so they were kind of like right on the line. Obviously, there was that 1 million thing that came out that was a mistake back in December, so that makes it look a little bad. But yeah, someone else said something like that in the comments, and I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Like that is a lot of phones, actually, especially for a phone that's $2,000.
Yeah,
and is going to break. Like you have to buy this knowing it's going to get ruined. Like you have to. You just want to have the cachet of opening your phone, like it's some Bulgari purse or something, and
it's like buying.
So you can call your au pair and tell her you're going to be late. I hope you don't mind working 65 hours again this week, because
it's like buying a 7-year-old BMW M3. Like it looks really nice.
Yeah,
it's not going to survive.
Right. Back in the day, I would have said like a Camaro Z28. Like,
yeah,
someone who owned this beat the crap out of it.
Right.
Like they did.
Yep.
Yep. It's like buying a used rental car. It's like,
Yeah. Fastest car in the world.
Probably hasn't been cared for.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially like I once was given a manual rental car when, I don't know, I was 26.
A manual shift rental car? Mm-hmm. Wow. Not in Europe.
Not in Europe. And Durham, North Carolina.
Jeez, wow,
because, as you would imagine, I was traveling for work, not prior career. And the company policy was you have to get the cheapest rental car. Because I was like the junior staffer of the junior staffers. And so I go up there and they're like, "Can you drive a stick?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can." And it was I think it was Ford, not Escape. What's the little Focus?
Tiny Fiesta.
Ford, it was a Focus.
Oh, Focus. Okay.
And let me tell you, that thing redlined.
Okay, actually,
that thing redlined a lot.
There was
I was having fun with that.
I rented the lowest end Toyota. I think it began with a Y, Yaris, right?
Yaris.
So Yaris or whatever. That thing is so small. It's actually less wide than cars too. So it's like three. It looks like a car for like one. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a weird thing to describe, but that was the trip I went to Microsoft. I was doing a Microsoft visit and at the campus, and it was a huge storm, and a tree fell down right as I drove away, and it landed right where I was parked before, and the thing would have killed me. Like, it was a gigantic,
Yeah.
not a redwood tree, but one of those giant pine trees they have there.
Unfortunate it missed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can contemplate that alternate future, but I got so many comments from people at Microsoft. Like, people would come out and see the car, and like one of them was like, "Oh, I didn't know Avis rented clown cars." But I did the same thing. Like, you always rent the cheapest,
Yep.
because the company's paying for it or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even think they do manuals. Most companies don't. I was surprised, and I know how to drive a stick. My first car was a stick.
I'd love to. I would choose to rent a stick if I could.
Yeah, I've been driving a stick now regularly, probably 10 years, maybe longer than that, maybe 15.
We always had sticks. It wasn't until the last couple of cars, like my wife's previous car, which was that Volkswagen, had a 6-speed stick, which is actually really nice. But yeah, now it's all automatics now.
All right. You got anything else for...
Let's see. I covered the au pair thing. This concert. I don't know. One thing I guess I will mention is I'm gonna if you've been waiting on this, I mentioned that I had a reader help me with the Find Next stuff.
Yep.
It is really buggy, but I'm gonna put up the first version of it maybe today, maybe after our meeting.
You're gonna do an insider program, fast ring, slow ring?
Yeah, it's a fast ring, right? This may or may not make the final version of the product.
It may not ever be a final version.
I just spent another couple hours on it last night, and I was like, okay, I can actually find places where it doesn't quite work, and it will need to be cleaned up at some point, regardless, because it's not very elegant. But it is the first. It's kind of there, like it's. I've reached the limits of my my programming capabilities. I think this is. My mortality moment. So I'm trying. But maybe great. I think I'll do that today.
We're gonna find out there's like a crypto miner running in the background. This is actually just your retirement plan. Get everyone using this app.
Right. Because what I wanted to use was Visual Basic and Windows Forms and then release the source code to the world, and then fool everybody into just sending me that last half penny from every transaction you make online.
It's a proven strategy. I think there's a movie about that.
Mm-hmm. At least two, actually.
Two, yeah, there's a couple. Yeah. So there you go. All right, folks, so that wraps it up for today. Today's Thursday, which means tomorrow's Friday, provided the comets or meteors don't hit the Earth. We will be back at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find all that information on the YouTubes, or just look for the post to go live on Thurrott.com.
I think we need a meteor.